Good evening, everybody. How about a big round of applause for the finalists tonight, the Youth of the Year? Unbelievable. Again, it never, ever ceases to amaze or inspire. Peter, thank you for that introduction, and great job summarizing why this program is so valuable and so special to our community. Peter was talking a little bit about the achievement gap, and I think by now many of us are familiar with how significant a problem this is that we're all faced with in society. And it's interesting, there's a number of challenges that on a secular basis are actually going to make closing the achievement gap even more difficult. You start with the widening skills gap. We all exist in an era where the pace of innovation is outstripping our ability to train the workforce for the jobs that are and will be, and not just the jobs that once were. We've got youth-based unemployment in this country at double the rate of general employment. We've got youth-based unemployment in certain developed economies around the world, Southern European countries, that hovers around 50%. 50%, one of every two graduates in these countries feels completely disenfranchised as soon as they become an adult. They don't feel like they have a chance. They don't feel like they have opportunity. And socioeconomic stratification in this country and beyond is at absolutely historic levels. Historic levels. There's a lot of focus, there's a lot of energy on these problems, on the challenges. There's not nearly as much energy on the solutions or the extraordinary people that are developing these solutions. And that's what I wanted to focus a little bit on tonight, because we have a brilliant solution right here in our own backyard with the Boys and Girls Club of the Peninsula. And I was reminded of that, and I'm reminded of it all the time, but I was reminded of it very specifically last summer. Our daughter, who turned 7 last summer, decided completely on her own volition to forego birthday presents from her friends. And she said in lieu of birthday presents, kids could make a contribution, or rather their parents could make a contribution to the, that would be impressive if 7-year-old kids were anteing up, ponying up. And she said in lieu of gifts, it would be great if they could make a contribution to the Boys and Girls Club of the Peninsula. And my wife mentioned this to Peter, and Peter said, Jeff, could you please bring your daughter down to our summer program, and would love to accept the check and show you guys around. And so that's what we did. And it was incredibly touching, and we were so proud of her, but it was so illuminating to see the program firsthand. And we went from classroom to classroom. There were 800 students in this particular summer program, and we were completely blown away by the quality of the teachers, some of the best teachers in the local community, the focus of the kids. I mean, they were in it, they were there, they were very present, they were so interested in learning. And we were impressed by the volunteers and the mentors, young high school students in the community. And afterwards, Peter and I were catching up, and I was saying, this looks so impressive. Talk to me. Tell me about the numbers. Tell me about the effectiveness. And he said, we've got 800 kids this year, and summer learning loss is a major part of the achievement gap. As he alluded to earlier, it comprises about half the achievement gap, and yet the kids that are attending this summer program, 90% of them experience no summer learning loss whatsoever. I said, that's amazing. He said, yeah, despite all of this, believe it or not, there were 140 kids on the waiting list that couldn't get in, that wanted to be a part of this, that wanted to learn more, that wanted to make a better life for themselves. I said, what are you going to do about that? He said, I got this. This is proven. It's measurable. We're going to talk to the districts. And sure enough, you see the results. So he's now got a partnership with school districts throughout the community, and we're going to be able to expand the program from 800 students to 1,400 students. So big round of applause to Peter. Outstanding work, not surprising in the least. And that's what he's capable of doing. And of course, Peter will be the first to tell you, it's not just Peter. He's got a world-class team behind him. And when I say world-class, I don't mean it in a cheerleading way. I mean a world-class team. And I know because I have the great fortune and privilege of spending time with them. And every now and again, Peter will come into the headquarters of LinkedIn and we'll host the team. and we'll do some brainstorming together and a little bit of Q&A on leadership and how you scale organizations and how you share best demonstrated practices. And this year in particular, as we were doing introductions, I was struck by the backgrounds of his team, some of whom I hadn't met before. Harvard, Stanford, Cornell, Brown, Cal, advanced degrees in education and business, public administration and nonprofits, alumni from Bain and the Graduate School of Business at Stanford, Teach for America. I'm not sure what impression or perception people have of nonprofit management teams, but trust me, you could stack this team up against any team in the Valley. It's truly world-class, and it's one of the reasons for the incredible success of this program. So a big round of applause for that group. When it comes to the effectiveness of this program, and when it comes to the talent that Peter has assembled here, please don't take my word for it. I would encourage all of you, if you get the chance, to sign up and visit one of the clubhouses. Visit the after-school programs. Just take a half an hour. I know everyone's schedule is incredibly busy. Just take a half an hour if you can. I did that about 7 years ago, and it changed my life. When I came here to the Boys and Girls Club for that visit, I expected that hopefully I'd be able to inspire the team a little bit and inspire the kids. And it was the exact opposite that actually took place. It was me who was inspired. And it's impossible to not be inspired when you're here. But you've got to be here. You've got to see it. And what you're going to experience and what you're going to see when you meet these kids is a light. There's a light that comes from within these kids. There's a light that comes from this team. And the light is born from this fierce resilience. It comes from this powerful intelligence. And it comes from this deep compassion that has been developed by virtue of their life experiences. And you heard 4 of those extraordinary stories earlier tonight. These kids, they have all of the talent. They have all of the skills. They have all of the desire. These kids don't need handouts. They just need access. They need access to opportunity. They have everything they need deep within them, once they're provided that opportunity, to run with it, to succeed, to make their lives better, to make the lives of their family members better. And you could see example after example in that wonderful video we just saw. So how can we help as a community? We can get involved by lending our voices and evangelizing on behalf of this extraordinary program and this team and these kids. We can get involved with our time and our energy. We can come down and volunteer and mentor, work with the team. And we can get involved by allocating resources, the resources that Peter and this organization need to continue to scale and continue to create even more value. So with that, I'd like to ask all of you to join me in doing everything we can, everything within our power, to make these extraordinary kids successful, to make this amazing world-class team successful, and to take this shining example of what a solution is all about when it comes to closing the achievement gap.